The reason for the failures is primarily the fact that they have not been embedded in systems thinking. They have been anti-systemic applications. Now let me try to explain what that means. First, what's a system? A system is a whole, spelled with a W, that consists of parts, each of which can affect its behavior or its properties. You, for example, are a biological system called an organism, and you consist of parts, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, pancreas, and so on, each of which can affect your behavior or your properties. The second requirement is that each part of the system, when it affects the system, is dependent for its effect on some other part. In other words, the parts are interdependent. No part of a system or collection of parts of a system has an independent effect on it. Therefore, the way the heart affects you depends on what the lungs are doing and the brain is doing. The parts are all interconnected. And therefore, a system is a whole that cannot be divided into independent parts. First, the essential or defining properties of any system are properties of the whole which none of its parts have. For example, a very elementary system you are familiar with is an automobile. The essential property of an automobile is it can carry you from one place to another. No part of an automobile can do that. The wheel can't, the axle can't, the seat can't, the motor can't. The motor can't even carry itself from one place to another. But the automobile can. You have certain characteristics, the most important of which is life. None of your parts live. You have life. You can write. Your hand can't write. That's easy to demonstrate. Cut it off and put it on the table and watch what it does. Nothing. And therefore, when a system is taken apart, it loses its essential properties. If I bring an automobile into this room and disassemble it, although every single part's in this room, I don't have an automobile. Because the system is not the sum of the behavior of its parts, it's the product of their interactions. If we have a system of improvement that's directed at improving the parts taken separately, you can be absolutely sure that the performance of the whole will not be improved. The performance of a system depends on how the parts fit, not how they act taken separately. The last point I want to make is that continuous improvement isn't nearly as important as discontinuous improvement. Creativity is a discontinuity. A creative act breaks with the chain that has come before it. It's not continuous. When we look at the models of quality, and we frequently point to the Japanese and what they've done to the automobile, there's no doubt that they have improved the quality of the automobile. But it's the wrong kind of quality. Peter Drucker made a very fundamental distinction between doing things right and doing the right thing. The Japanese are doing things right, but they're doing the wrong thing. Doing the wrong thing right is not nearly as good as doing the right thing wrong. You see, the automobile is destroying urban life around the world. Just visit Mexico City, Santiago, or any of those major cities where you find congestion and pollution so bad that children have to be kept home from school. They're not allowed to walk out of doors because the pollution is so intense. And then we talk about the quality of the automobiles that they're driving. It's a wrong concept of quality. Quality ought to contain the notion of value, not merely efficiency.